And joining me now in the studio is Leslie Marsdorp. He is the Vice Chairperson, or rather Vice President rather, of Business Leadership South Africa. Leslie, thank you so much for joining us here on Beyond Markets. You've been participating, of course, in the various discussions under the auspices of the BRICS Business Council, interacting with your counterparts, representing the views of the top companies in South Africa. Take us through some of your observations in terms of how business has come to the BRICS party, if you like, and whether your concerns are in fact being heard by the politicians.
Thanks for having me, Karima. I think firstly, BRICS, as you know, is a political club, really. It's a political formation. We started in 2009. So in the past, business very much attended these forums in Russia, in China, and Brazil as kind of an appendage of the president's delegation, right? Everything happened sort of in parallel. There were little side meetings taking place. So this year, there's an attempt to institutionalize the participation of business and to deepen the roots around BRICS. So the launch of the BRIC Business Council is meant to cement the role of the private sector in these conversations, because BRICS will only be meaningful if a big business, companies, investment, trade flows, if these issues become part of the dialogue. So today we are at the beginning of that. The council is now chaired by South Africa for the next year, and there'll be different task teams set up under which we will participate, for example, finance, ICT, infrastructure, and so on. But I think it's very important to note that this is a young institution, just been launched. The expectations are huge, but we've got to take it in its stride because it's going to be a long-term process.
In fact, the finance minister for South Africa describes it as a journey, and that we've got a long road to walk. There has been some skeptics, though, Leslie, about BRICS' capacity in economic terms, particularly South Africa's participation as a kind of almost junior member to the club. Take us through the issues raised by business around the various market opportunities in the different BRICS countries, and also some of the challenges that they identify in terms of creating an enabling environment for business to come to the party.
Look, I mean, I'd say that on the one hand, you have people who have massive expectations of BRICS and, describe things around new global architecture and BRICS becoming sort of the new G7 and so on, and new paradigms emerging around development associated with this BRICS Development Bank. And then you have people on the other side who are complete skeptics, who basically feel South Africa doesn't belong in this club. We're a small economy, we have sluggish growth, we have a small domestic market, and so on. But I think the truth somewhere lies in between those. This is a very important political formation because it has huge opportunities for South Africa. I mean, China, as you know, is the second biggest economy in the world, Brazil number 6, India number 9, Russia number 10. We're only the 27th or 28th biggest economy in the world. So indeed, we are the junior partner, but a very important partner at that, because global growth, especially the growth in these economies, are dependent on commodities, which we have a lot of. We are, as you know, one of the biggest mineral resource economies in the world, and sub-Saharan Africa has been growing at 5, 6, 7% despite the economic recession in Europe. So the story is a positive one around South Africa, and our participation in BRICS is a significant development for the country. So in general, business is very optimistic about the possibilities, but I should emphasize possibilities rather than reality.
Now, of course, one of the big issues that BUSA has raised was the dangers around a free trade area and the fact that South Africa could end up a dumping ground for cheap imports, negatively affecting our own domestic market. And of course, the big thing is also access to other markets and how possible that is. Take us through some of the practical things that people are talking about in terms of creating a two-way process where businesses from the various countries can actually begin to penetrate other markets, and that we're not having a situation where everyone kind of sees what they can get out of the continent.
Sure. I think the first point to make is that even when you're in a collective formation like BRICS, national interest is always just below the veneer of we are all together, right? So South Africans go into these meetings, as business we go into these meetings to identify ways in which South African companies can benefit, right? So we, for example, in South Africa, we need to identify our core comparative advantages. We're a big resource, mineral-based economy for one. We have a very developed, sophisticated financial markets and financial sector. We have a very liquid and and highly respected stock exchange, one of the best run in the world. So we need to look at how could we take those areas where we are strong, right, and transport some of those industries into some of these countries, because it is clear that the other more developed BRIC markets have very clear agendas. You can hear in the tone that they've got clear ideas of how the economies will develop over the next 5, 10, 15 years, and we need to supply the resources to fuel their economic growth.
Now, of course, we know that the Chinese president is here on an official state visit, his first since he's been elected, and of course also South Africa in a working visit with Russia. Both countries, very different approaches to the continent. Of course, we also have Brazil, also very interesting, making very big moves around economic diplomacy. After the break, we are going to be chatting with someone from the Brazil Council. But what are the kind of nuanced differences, if you like, from those larger players in the BRICS formation in terms of the approach to the continent?
Look, a couple of things. I think firstly, you have to accept that size matters, and in this instance, China is the dominant partner, right? So beneath this sort of, BRICS, we are all in this together. There is the dominance of China, which is clearly there, and then you can see that in the manner in which, even in the business formations, the deference that is shown towards the Chinese companies, because in sheer size they're obviously in a different stratosphere. I think though that it is early days, because the rules of the game has not been set. There needs to be significant changes in the architecture of how these economies, how the markets operate for BRICS to become real. We do have, you must remember, specific partnerships with Brazil and with India. We've got bilateral councils with them. So the debate about where does BRICS fit in, if we have bilateral agreements with Brazil around IPSA or with India, does BRICS take preeminence over that? There's a number of unresolved issues
all
there.
Those issues still need to be clarified. Leslie, thank you so much. We have to leave it there. That, of course, Leslie Marstorp, the Vice President of Business Leadership South Africa, talking to us about businesses' participation in this historic 5th summit of BRICS.